What if that sparkling ornament on your Christmas tree wasn't just decoration, but it was a secret message? Hi there, I'm Chris with a K, and welcome back to This Week in Queer History, where we celebrate queer moments and icons that I wish I had known about as a young gay kid growing up in conservative America. So what if that sparkling ornament on your Christmas tree wasn't just decoration, but it was a secret message? LGBTQ people have hidden love, identity, and defiance right in plain sight, sometimes under the mistletoe or in the flicker of holiday candles. In this episode, we're going to journey all the way from ancient winter festivals to modern celebrations and uncover how queer people have made the happiest time of year also the queerest secretly. So grab a cup of cocoa, snuggle up by the fire, and prepare to see the holidays in a whole new light.
This week in queer history, stories told with love and glee.
So let's rewind a couple of thousand years before Christmas was Christmas. Long before Santa or shopping malls, there was Saturnalia, the ancient Roman winter festival honoring Saturn, the god of liberation. And for a few glorious days each December, the normal social order flipped upside down. Slaves dined like masters, men wore women's clothing, and revelers roamed the streets singing and drinking under evergreen boughs. It was, in essence, a sanctioned queer carnival, joyful, chaotic, and gloriously subversive. When Christianity adopted the date for Christmas, it also inherited that energy, but church leaders soon cracked down on the fluidity that Saturnalia had celebrated. The wigs and gender-bending merriment, they were all out. Solemn hymns were in, and yet those early echoes of queerness never really disappeared. They went underground, tucked away in art, music, and later, coded gestures. By the 1800s, Christmas had become a domestic ritual. Trees, carols, cards, and plenty of gifts. But queer people, often forced to hide their identities, used these traditions to communicate in code. Flowers and colors became queer language. The green carnation worn by Oscar Wilde in his circle in the 1890s signaled homosexuality. Tucking one into a Christmas boutonniere could be a quiet declaration of identity at a holiday party. And violets carried lesbian symbolism thanks to Sappho's poetry. Some women sent small violet bouquets with cards at Christmas, tokens of affection that outsiders saw as merely sweet. In Edwardian London, men might wear lavender ties or pastel ribbons subtly but intentionally, echoing the coded use of color that defined queer self-recognition for decades. And meanwhile, in Berlin, around 1905, sexologist Magnus Hirschfeld wrote of homosexual Christmas parties, where same-sex couples gathered secretly to exchange gifts and dance, a reminder that even in repressive times, queer joy found a way to twinkle. As the 20th century dawned, Christmas became both refuge and reminder. For queer people estranged from their families, the season could sting, but it also became the time that chosen family traditions were born. During the 1950s, the phrase "Christmas isn't for queers" appeared in letters and columns lamenting exclusion from family tables. Yet those same decades saw LGBTQ bars hosting orphans' dinners on Christmas Eve, events where everyone was welcome, no matter who they loved. And the AIDS crisis of the 1980s transformed holiday gatherings into acts of remembrance and defiance. The simple red ribbon, first popularized through the Visual AIDS Collective, became a powerful symbol, turning grief into visibility. And when hung on Christmas trees, it was both ornament and protest. And speaking of music, the era also brought the birth of gay choruses. The San Francisco Gay Men's Chorus, founded in 1978, began performing annual holiday concerts called Home for the Holidays. These shows mixed traditional carols with reflections on loss, love, and chosen family. Hearing 100 gay men sing joy to the world in a cathedral once barred to them was a kind of spiritual reclamation. If you think the phrase "make the Yuletide gay" in Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas was just coincidence, well, queer audiences have always heard the subtext loud and clear. By the late 20th century, queer culture had begun to gleefully reclaim Christmas imagery. Drag queens decked halls, literally, with tinsel and irony. RuPaul released Christmas Party, a dance track celebrating chosen family, and George Michael, a gay man not yet publicly out, gave us Last Christmas, which became an anthem of heartbreak, nostalgia, and it resonated far beyond straight romance. Meanwhile, film and TV slowly caught up. For decades, Hallmark's holiday movies were so straight. Then, in 2020, the channel released The Christmas House, its first film featuring a gay couple. Actor Jonathan Bennett said he cried reading the script because finally, queer love had a seat at the family table. And soon to follow, The Christmas Setup, Single All the Way, and Happiest Season, proving that queer romance wasn't a novelty, but part of the holiday canon. The ornaments were finally out of the closet. And long before rainbow stockings appeared at Target, LGBTQ people were queering Christmas through creativity. In the early 1900s, Berlin's queer cafes decorated trees with miniature figures of same-sex couples, a playful wink to those in the know. And in mid-century America, queer artists like Andy Warhol produced Christmas cards, sending visual love notes to friends. And the idea of glitter as resistance traces back to this era too. Sparkle wasn't frivolous, it was armor. By the 1970s and the 1980s, gay Christmas balls became annual fixtures in cities all across the world. London, Paris, San Francisco. And these events combined ballroom culture, drag, and disco. They were part protest, part pageant. But in these spaces, Christmas returned to its Saturnalian roots, upside-down hierarchies and freedom through joy. And let's not forget the music again, because the soundtrack of Queer Christmas runs deep. The very first openly gay holiday album, Merry Christmas, Darling, by the New York Gay Men's Chorus in 1984, reimagined classics with tenderness and pride. And of course, no December is complete without Mariah Carey. She is a gay icon whose All I Want for Christmas should be a national anthem. And while Christmas glitters with coded rebellion, Hanukkah shines with a quieter, luminous pride. The Festival of Lights commemorates resistance against oppression, a theme that resonates deeply with LGBTQ people. And today, many queer Jews have reclaimed Hanukkah as a celebration of authenticity and resilience. In cities like New York and San Francisco, LGBTQ synagogues such as Congregation Beit Simchat Torah and Sha'ar Sahav host queer Hanukkah events, lighting rainbow menorahs and singing about miracles of visibility. Some even reinterpret the story itself. The miracle, they say, isn't just about oil lasting 8 days. It's the miracle of living openly, of being seen and loved for who you are. One prayer from Sidur Sha'ar Sahav asks, "How can I celebrate a battle I'd oppose today?" and reframes it toward tolerance and unity, a queer theology of light over dogma. Writer Michelle Kurchanskaya describes lighting her menorah while wrestling with the tension between wanting to be visible and wanting to be safe, a feeling any queer person recognizes. In that simple act, lighting the candles anyway, she turns survival into radiance. Hanukkah reminds us every flicker of light matters, especially when the world feels dark. And if the 19th century was about secret signals and the 20th about survival, the 21st is about joyful visibility. What was once whispered can now be sung, streamed, and worn proudly. Today, you can buy rainbow ornaments, you can have pride menorahs, and you can find cards that say merry and gay. There are queer pop stars that headline holiday concerts, and most beautifully, millions of queer people gather each year with their chosen families, which is proof that the season of love and light belongs to us all. The arc of queer holiday history bends towards inclusion. It's not perfect. Some still face rejection or loneliness, but the glow is brighter now than it ever has been. From Saturnalia's gender-fluid feast to Wilde's green carnation, from hidden ornaments to pride lights on public trees, the thread of queer resilience runs unbroken. And when I think about Christmas, it has never felt straight. Long before I had a language for being gay or knowing what queer was, I knew that the holidays, they were full of something just slightly different for me. There's this one memory that I have, and it is so vivid, but my uncle's chorus came to sing at our house for a Christmas party when I was a really young kid. And I knew he was gay. It was kind of a secret, not secret, but it wasn't talked about that much in our family. But, you know, everyone knew it was quiet truth. And he was there with his chorus, and he stood there shoulder to shoulder with them. And they all probably had their own complicated stories, these people in the chorus. But when they started to sing, the whole room changed. They were singing joy to the world, but it was more than that. They were actually bringing joy into the world. Their faces were all lit up and their harmonies were so beautiful. And for a moment, all of those adults, everyone around us, they all seemed softer and kinder. And I didn't know it then, but I was watching a man truly be himself inside a tradition that didn't always know what to do with him. And that joy, that ease, and that glittering shine that he had, it imprinted on me. As I got older and found my own people, the codes of the season started to come into focus. By day, I would do the family dinner and polite sweaters, ornaments that had been around longer than I had. And then by night, I would slip out into a bar on Christmas Eve or Christmas night, where the lights were somehow both just a little tackier and holier than everything that was surrounding me in my little suburban town. And there was always this beautiful in-between moment when people would be arriving from their family outfits, ties would loosen, the lipstick would be a little more smudged, and they'd be shaking off the performance of the day. And then there would be the chosen family roll call, the bartender who hadn't even gone home at all, the friend who showed up with a story that started with, "So my mom said," and then ended with everyone laughing and knowing exactly why being here mattered. And in those spaces, the holidays stopped being something that was happening to us and became something that we were actively rewriting. A sparkly pin on a lapel, a rainbow ornament hanging in the corner, two men slow dancing to a Christmas song that no one ever intended for them. These were our little acts of rewriting. Not loud enough to make the straight world flinch, but clear enough for anyone tuned in to see. We've always been here, weaving our own threads through the sparkling tinsel. And that's what I love about uncovering the hidden queer codes in Christmas and Hanukkah, and all the songs and symbols that come with them. It's not just historical trivia, it's proof that even when the script didn't name us, we slipped into the margins and signed our names anyway, in colors, in flowers, in ornaments, and in melodies. For me, the holidays will always be a little bit queer because the best parts of them, the kindness, the chosen family, the beauty and the ritual, survival dressed up as sparkle, they're all the same muscles that queer people have been exercising forever. And there's something so hopeful in that, knowing that every candle lit, every carol that is sung, every glittery over-the-top decoration that they might be, it's in its own small way another bright little signal that we belong. Thanks for joining me on this trip down memory lane. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, a like, and make sure you're subscribed so you can check out all the videos that come out. You can also check this video popping up right over here for more queer history. And if you want to find out what icons or events happened on your birthday, you can check out the link below for myqueerbirthday.com. Until next time, stay strong, stay bold, and keep making history.